always just going to attack it when like defending.
I think it's like
The morning after the night before. Smash the like button. Now, Arsenal won, Leverkusen won, Arsenal won. And obviously, it's all to play for next week, Tuesday. Part that off, or for this purpose of this video, keep that in mind, but part that off. Now we need to play Everton. Now, obviously, if you think I'm going to sit here and call everybody random slurs and everybody's crap and this, that, and the third, you're in the wrong channel, innit? You know, you're genuinely at the wrong channel now. There's many a channel to go to. For me, I don't understand why some Arsenal fans are concerned specifically in midfield and attack. You look at our defense, spot on. The options, everything we do, the whole defensive ethos, spot on. So, like, imagine 11 players on the field, yeah? Defense, midfield, attack. Defense, spot on. You know, they overperform, they do their jobs, all that kind of stuff. Midfield, it becomes a bit blurred for a variety of reasons. You know, I think there's personnel issues in terms of depth. Obviously, the way we set up at times. I do think we've run our midfielders, specifically Zubimendi and Declan Rice, into the ground, and things of that ilk. Attack, as I said, focus on units. Attack, collectively, have been underperforming. Now, I don't feel we've learned anything about Arsenal all season. And as I said, this is all from a place of love. We do have to bear in mind that there's been evident concerns. We still are third for goals from open play. You know, we're third for goals from open play, 101 goals in all comps, 102 now, in fact. You know, we're level with City. We know we're nowhere near the quality of Manchester City in an attacking vein, but we've both got 59 goals in the Premier League. We play the highest line. We've got the most touches in the up box, and we do a madness from set pieces. That's where it frustrates me and also excites me, because despite me not being happy generally with our attacking play, you know, nitpicking at individual things, the stats show that we're a decent attacking side. So imagine if, quote unquote, the handbrake goes down, players are in great form, etc., etc. You know, what I will say, you know, if I just say random names, not everybody's 100% convinced on Gyökeres, on Eze, on Bakayo's form, on Gabriel Jesus, on Martinelli, on Trossard. Obviously, big up Max Dowman, and we know Saka's, you know, form is temporary, class is permanent. We'll get onto that, but I definitely hope that saying there needs to come into play in it. My point being, yeah, I've listed several names that are part of that attacking unit. If they're all underperforming, then that is on the manager, innit? It's like having it being a work office or a company. These people might not be doing their jobs, and the manager might be failing, you know, the accountant might be doing the wrong job, etc., etc. But if they're all failing, then that's a collective issue. And unfortunately, the good, the bad, and the ugly falls with Arteta. And, you know, we're still in all four comps, we're fighting, you know what we're trying to get done. It's not all doom and gloom, but these have been issues that have remained in our side, innit, people? So as I said, collectively, that's an issue for the gaffer. Personally, because I feel that's been there, breaking down low blocks and deep blocks and all those things has been an issue for us for the last few years. I'm not Mikel Arteta. I haven't, you know, we ain't won a trophy, all that kind of crap. But if we strip it back and look from it from a purist point of view, he's played against Luis Enrique, beat him. You know, he's done well against Carlo. He's gone to war with Pep. He's played a new manager in company. You know, he's held his own against all those kind of tactical managers. You know, so you've done that. You earn 50 mil a year. You know, a lot of our attacking players, you know, the Smith Rowes, the Odegaards, the Martinellis, the Sakas, they've had their breakout or standout goal scoring seasons under you. I don't get 15 mil a year. So my point of saying all of that is to say this: it's above me. I'm just an armchair expert, but you need to have the answers. Going back to what I said at the start, yeah, there's nothing new this season in an attacking vein. Obviously, you know, you look at a number of chances we haven't converted last season. I have to forgive my fellow naive Arsenal brother or sister for just assuming you slap Eze, you get Zubimendi, you put Gyökeres up there, the attack goes. What did you see to facilitate that tactically? In the same way, defensively, very early in his career, you could see what Arteta wanted to do defensively. We just never had the personnel. So I do think it was naive. And I always say this, and I do feel like a broken record, yeah? That's my thinking of last season. So if we go back to just before preseason, that's something that needed to be addressed. Now, I'll forgive fans for expecting this, but, you know, what you see good and bad is the results of hours and hours of practice, the corners, the set pieces, the defensive ethos, etc., etc. I know it's not going to change overnight, but as I said, going into preseason, I know it's not a magical place you go to for 2, 3 weeks. Everything that I want fixed is fixed. I know that's not the case, but I just want to see blocks. At a push, I saw that against Bilbao, maybe something of that ilk, if I can remember correctly. But all right, cool. Now, if we jump to the start of the season, I give you 10 games. Obviously, from game week 1 to game week 10, man, need to win games. We need to get 3 points. We need to do all of that. It's not a happy camp, if that makes sense. It's not just freestyling. But I understand, players are still trying to, all teams, they're trying to get fit. You're trying to get fit. There's various degrees of fitness levels. You got to shake off the preseason ring rust, all of that kind of stuff. By the 10-game mark, I'm still not expecting it to be amazing, but this is where I start to get a bit harsher. I need to see a bit more sprouts. It's like planting a tree. I'm not expecting to reap the harvest immediately, but I need to see it sprouting from the ground. I need to see some leaves, etc., etc. From the 10-game mark to the end of the year, now I want it to click, but it never happened. Come the turn of the year now, and we've done well. Obviously, we've been picking up results. We've had some bumps and bruises. I'm not suggesting it's all doom and gloom. I'm focused on an attack because it tells me there's something there, whether it's Arteta against himself, etc. You now take us from December to February. I'm not thinking it's going to happen this season because, if it was going to happen, it would have happened, innit? Regardless. Now, with us being the 12th of March, I'm not expecting it. At a push, I'm expecting or hoping for some purple patches from my individual kind of players, if that makes sense. What we're doing is what we're doing. What we've got is what we've got. If we want to be something we've never been, then everybody has to become something they've never been. Arteta is fighting himself as much as the league. Again, I understand that I'm not necessarily against it, trying to win the ball high up the field, actually having a handbrake, etc. But it feels like anybody that puts in a low block, you have half a chance against us. That was the first game in the Champions League. That was the first game that felt like a Premier League game. Leverkusen street smart, structured off the ball. We're moving it left and right, side to side. And I haven't got a problem with that because I know from minute 0 to 90, it can't just go up. But it has to change to some degree. We have to move the ball quicker, or you have to get players that are going to hug the touchline, or maybe not even necessarily hug the touchline, draw the opposition out of position. Or you need midfield runners, or you need what Wenger used to do, in which, when we used to be sick of creative players, like you had the Santis, the Wilsheres, the Ramseys, this one, that one, they're all on the field, they're all great on the half turn in pockets. Something needs to change in that regards, people, which is the issue in my regards. We haven't changed anything. Now, all of these players individually need to do better. It's always the players that are not involved that are the ones that are the difference makers. Now everybody's, after getting onto Odegaard all season, now we need Odegaard. People are vexed with Trossard. Now we need Trossard. Yada, yada, yada. You get where I'm going. I don't believe in my attacking unit, and it does need to be rebuilt and replenished for next season. No, I'm not saying get rid of all of them, but a couple of them need to go in it. A couple of the players aren't good enough, and a couple of players are good enough, but their form is a bit shaky. I don't know what going for Saka. Has he been run into the ground? Is he due a bad season because, he's had a number of good years? Has he lost his explosiveness owing to the injuries? Is he overthinking? I don't think there's one reason. I think it's all there. He needs to back up his ideas because he's pissing me off. His form's been poor against Leverkusen. It was shit. Like everything, the basics were poor, running into the ground, and bad games happen. I'm going to back Saka. I'm going to back every player, whether I rate man or not. I've said this before. Every player is a tool in that toolbox to get us over the line. I don't see the need to be saying everybody's shit, this, that, and the third. Why can't we have a genuine conversation? Saka needs to back up his ideas. You've carried this team for years. Now we're carrying you. Are you overthinking? Is it injuries? Have you lost your explosiveness? Are you just in poor form? I don't know. Now everyone, Saka's overrated. He's this, that. I don't give a monkey. Saka's my guy, backing him to the death. I think there needs to be a degree of loyalty in football because you need to put an arm around his shoulder. Why can't we have this conversation where, we're hard on the problem, not necessarily the person? Like, why can't we tell Saka, yo, you're playing shit, pattern up, you're still our guy. Why is it always this witch hunt thing? I'm not even telling you what to think, just two things. Midfield, we look spent. I don't know what Miles Lewis-Skelly's got to do to buy a game gaffer, but you've got a squad. You've got to utilize him in Norgard. Zubi, has had a great season or a very good season. Now he's going through a slump. Why are you not changing things? If we keep doing the same things are going to happen, right? Anytime we buck a low block, we're in issues. As I said, against Leverkusen, that was the first time in the champs where it felt like a Premier League game. Other than that, it's not to say teams haven't been structured off the ball, but for whatever reason, it hasn't quite been that. And this is why it's frustrating. Saka, I need more. Eze, I need more. I do think yesterday I kind of understood Eze's issues. Like, you're actually holding the positions you're being told to and waiting for the ball to come. Can you be a bit more demanding? Can you just be a bit more of a beast and better, full stop? Yes, 1,000,000%. Gyökeres is never going to convince everyone. He's so ugly, it's beautiful. Do you get where I'm going? We all know games like that, Gyökeres is rendered redundant, sort of thing, if that makes sense. We always talk about underperformance, and our players, they're underperforming. You know, our system isn't generating many chances, which is why I say the flip side. There's also overperformance. How many times have you seen attacking players in a certain system or ethos under a manager? You know, they're scoring goals for fun at one club, they go to another club, they're struggling. That's what systems are meant to do. Hide the weaknesses, enhance the strengths. And Arteta has to find a system that can get a lot out of a lot out of these players. Some of the attacking players, Saka on his days, quality. Max Dowman is a bit irrelevant because he's young, but is obviously quality. Some of these players go through purple patches. We need that over performance. And to my players, make no excuse. I might have focused on the gaffer. All of you not need to fix up. I'm not expecting Martinelli's decision making to improve. A lot of you are big enough, old enough, and ugly enough for me to accept you for what they are. Eze, I need more across 90 minutes. Martinelli, I need better. Again, in relative to what you're able to do. Saka, it goes without saying I need better. You know, it's not hard. Generate more chances. Ugly Gyökeres will bag. Saka, you're second guessing. I think a lot of it is the tactics, but a lot of it is also you. Like, you need to pattern up to the point where I want you off the wings. I want you in the 10 if you're going to play at this moment in time. Big up Noni Madueke. But again, my broader question is, obviously, we've got what we've got this season. We need to get over the line, but this attack needs replenishing. It can't get us over the line. You know, these are not bad players. You know, if I say Saka, Noni, Martinelli, Trossard, you know, Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, Mikel Merino, Odegaard, Eze, in isolation, they're not bad players. But whether they've passed their sell-by date, not in good form, when you slap them collectively together, it ain't good enough. It's not good enough for what we're trying to do. If we want to go from being a good team to a great team, we need to be able to look at our attackers and say, yo, we believe in you. We also need to be able to take our half chances. We also need to bear in mind that attack is a form of defense. And that seems to be one thing we don't have. Now, there's obviously been other games here, but against Leverkusen, that was the first time in a while, yeah. So, you know, when sometimes you can watch us after 5 minutes and you know it's going to be mediocre. And I think that was the case. And also, we didn't look like we was going to score. Now, we don't look like, well, we do look like we're going to score, but I don't necessarily believe in our attacking ability on a consistent basis. I just couldn't see where it came from. Now, shout out to Noni, because the one thing Arteta did is pull off Saka, bring on Noni. That's why he's there. I can't disagree with people that want Noni to obviously start. That's a good conversation to have because we got depth. I just don't see the need to blast all of these players. I don't know why we can't have grown conversations and be honest. As you can see, I've pulled no punches. You can pull no punches and be very critical without calling man, saying everybody shit and this and that and random slurs under the sun, and also acknowledge what's in front of us. Because this is what I mean about Arsenal can be their best friends or their biggest enemies. And I'm saying all of this where, listen, we didn't deserve anything, much less a point or, you know, drawing the game level going into the second tie against Leverkusen. But I'm saying I'm watching the same things every week and I've accepted it. Next season, this needs to be addressed. But it is what it is, rightly or wrongly. And then I did a TikTok. Make sure you're following the Laguna on TikTok and a YouTube short, yeah? And I saw some interesting comments from you lot people. As I said, we're a community people. As I said, you know, again, Saka was crap yesterday. He's having a crap season. That's still my guy. Deserves his money. Big him up. Is what it is. Don't care about none of that. It is what it is, people. Wow, I can say that, be bullish. Listen, I'm Saka FC till I die, innit? Not I back the club, not individual players, but I got a lot of time for Saka. You know, everyone will be breading when he starts scoring again. But I can also acknowledge and be very critical on what my eyes are showing me, people. But then, yeah, I wanted to see you lot's comments. JD said, hopefully this is a wake-up call for him. Think it's the first time he got hooked that early. Need to see a reaction from him. Need to. For me, I see everything. I see a lack of explosiveness. I see poor form. I see second-guessing yourself, which is going to happen. I see trying a bit too hard. Obviously, he's had a poor season. I don't think the tactics, I think we already start with a deficit in attack because of what we do in the final third. I even said when Eze and Gyökeres signed, I thought you'd be very naive if you just slap them two on the pitch and they're going to be amazing. There's obviously a Premier League tax for Gyökeres and a low block tax for Eze. There's also an Arteta tax because of how we're playing, and then also you bring in the low blocks. It was never going to be as clean as that. And Carl said we need Noni's heart in Saka, especially right now. I wouldn't criticize Saka for a lack of heart. You're just playing shit, but every star boy has an off day sometimes. Big up Cam Singh. To be fair, though, he's been off for a minute. But yesterday was the first time I thought, oh, because sometimes, even with a poor season, he still had decent games. Yesterday was like, oh, Noni looked amazing when he came on. Still very disjointed in midfield. Eze's not doing it for me. Yeah, Eze not doing it for me either, man. Like, I love Eze, but he's not doing it for me. Like, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's confidence, if it's tactics, I don't know what it is. But you, Saka, I believe in you lot. You're both being shit at the moment. Don't know why Miles Lewis Skelly can't buy a game. Martinelli and Trossard. Trossard, who is irrelevant, it's a luck of the draw, and it's even that, even me. I do think yesterday was a game for Trossard on that left-hand side, but then Trossard starts, I might, pardon me, be crying for Martinelli, which is why I'm saying I don't think, you can, clearly I'm vexed, but it's a thing where I've seen, but I'm saying the same things every week. And I genuinely think if you're not that you have to agree with me or believe what I'm saying, but if you've been watching Arsenal last season, if you've watched us this season with the highs and the lows, specifically on attack, you can't be this surprised. This is what we've been doing all year. Nothing's been addressed, really. I'm saying all that, we're still in all 4 comps. We have a good chance of winning a bit of silverware. As I said, I'm not expecting the attacking things to change. At best, I'm hoping for a purple patch, like how you saw from Trossard in this season, like you've seen with Gyökeres, not so much now, but the turn of the year. That's all I can hope for, people. I would start Madueke against Everton. He deserves it. Fair play, man. In fact, I'll be looking to, and even you, Gaffer, man, sometimes you do different stuff. I've seen you play Odegaard and Eze. We'll try to, and then obviously Odegaard got injured. Saka in that 10, especially if he has lost his explosiveness. Saka in that 10, Madueke out wide, Kai in that 10, Gyökeres together. These kind of Bandulu things at this point in the season is what's going to see us over the line. Sam Pardy, I don't know, man. 9 goals, 7 assists all season. He really needs to pattern up. Facts, he does. But every player's meaty. Every player's attacking statistics is meaty. And when I say this, people like to rebuttal me with, again, the goals we've collectively scored. If you look at everybody's goals in all comps, it probably looks a bit more rosier. But then break our attacking unit, break it all down. Who has scored when? What competitions have man scored in? How many goals have they scored in whatever game? How many blocks has their goals coming? And then you'll see it, because certain men are on 1 Premier League goal. So as I make no mistake, the players need to fix up. You lot in life, you are to blame for everything. You need to save yourself in this life. But then if everybody's got meaty stats, some of it is how opposition is set up. Some of it is evidently what the gaffer is doing. So he is right. At this point, Dalman is our only really exciting attacker. I agree, to be fair. I don't know what these guys do in training, because we play as if playing the ball forward is taboo. Resting for a couple of games. Broski, there's no rest. I hear you, Derek, but nobody's got no rest. It's either if you're talking about being dropped and sat on the bench, that's different. Where's the rest coming from? Is the rest coming against a must-win cup final against Everton, or where you need to get the job done at home against Leverkusen, or in a League Cup final against Man City? That rest shit is done with. It's over with. No Saka slander will be tolerated. No slander of all the players, even the players I don't rate, people, because everyone can say what they want. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. I just don't see the need. I don't know why it has to get all childish and everybody shit and random slurs and all this kind of stuff. But if that's your style, innit? What else have we got? Copium, you lot baby this guy too much. Even Bowen has more goals in games played than he's meaty. Saka won't get any better than this. I think Saka will get better than this, but he needs to prove people wrong, innit? Because it's dark right now, Saka. It's in darkness, and you need to lead us out. Also, big up Bowen. That doesn't mean anything, because if I start bringing up my centre backs, how they have more goals than Ahmad, we can all do all of that. Saka is definitely not baby by me. I just think I don't know you. Like I didn't sit down with a woman and 9 months later she brought out Saka. So what am I babying you for? I just don't see the need to just blast into man, tear man apart. Obviously, I've been very harsh on him. Not even harsh. I've been quite real on him of what I see with my eyes, people. So I don't know what bearing is. And I've replied this year because I'll read it out because there's another comment. I genuinely think some people got selective hearing, but it is what it is. Saka's not done anything for a year plus now. A bit liar. Are we forgetting about Real Madrid? Are we forgetting how he came back from his injury? Come on now. We don't have to do all of that. We really don't have to do all of that. Deserves all his money this season's poor. We need him. We do need him. He deserves his money. Like, let's stop the nonsense. He's one of our, I don't like this, but he's one of our franchise players, one of our most experienced players, has dragged this football club. Take your club hat off, yeah? If anybody deserves money in football, it's these footballers. You look at the going rate, he's one of the best in his position. Obviously, if he was to leave, we're looking at 60, 70, 100 odd million to replace him. Get your 300 grand a week. Or if anybody deserves the money in football, it's the footballers, bro. So go and do your thing. And this is the stuff I'm talking about. Gunner's Delight said, I can't take this level of copium coming from you of all people. Now, this is where I get frustrated. Not that I care about the internet, but if you're going to draw me out, listen to what I said. All right, listen. And as you can see here, selective hearing. He has been poor. Yesterday was crap. He needs to improve, but that's still my guy. What is so difficult to understand? That the man's shit at the moment, but I still like him. And I've not pulled any punches. And on there. What's going on? How is that copium? If anything, copium would be not saying all of these things. No one is perfect. Saka always gives everything for Arsenal. I'm not worried. I'm not worried, but he needs to pattern up, man. He was marked out the game. Of course, he's going to be marked out the game, but you've been marked out the game for a number of years and you found a way. You're just playing shit. You're playing shit. Eze's playing shit. Martinelli is moving shit. Trossard is moving shit. Gyökeres is moving shit. Eze is moving shit. All the attackers, bar the young Max Dowman is moving shit. Arteta's attacking tactics are shit. But then also the gaffer, sometimes he says things and I'm like, yo, you man are not listening to him. You go and look at his press conference if you don't believe me. But yeah, man, it is what it is, man.